talking can be awakening, or talking can be deep spiritual sleep. And unfortunately, for most of the people, most of the time, talking is just being asleep. And so that's a topic and the direction of exploration I would like to recommend to the people in the group I'm working with. But also this applies to really anybody who is watching this and you are interested in becoming more conscious, more awake, free yourself from the ego, or become more truly authentic, heal, but definitely on any awakening path. In the fourth way, Gurdjieff-Ouspensky teachings, unnecessary talk was and is one of the 6 obstacles. 6 obstacles to self-remembering, 6 obstacles to being conscious, 6 obstacles to awakening. So one of them was unnecessary talk. Talking for the sake of talking, just like there's this phenomena of daydreaming where there are all of these constant voices and radio in the head for most people, which is one of the other obstacles on the fourth way. So just like there is this constant churning of voices and radio in the head, this will leak out for some of us, for many of us, and we just talk unconsciously and the same and mechanically and compulsively. So if we are really interested in doing the work, being the work, it is really important to bring attention to this dimension of our life. How we talk to people, what we talk about, when we talk, why we talk. So the exercise for the people I'm working with is to simply observe on the fourth way path, but on any awareness path, before we can change anything, before we can transcend any phenomena, before we can free ourselves from any mechanical, harmful behavior, it is important to study. It's important to observe it. Yeah. So in the very observing of it, some of these manifestations will diminish by themselves. Some of this harmful, unconscious talking will diminish just by observing it. And actually, if we are really honest with ourselves and we are honest about the work, and we start to observe how we are with friends, how we are with people, with family, we are going to have a certain bad taste in the spiritual mouth whenever we are talking in a certain way, which is sleep. Yeah, we are going to have a little conscience moment where we are like, oh, I didn't feel good. And it's like, why are you talking like this? You know, there's some inner knowingness, inner knowingness that knows that that was off. So it's hard to have a recipe like, hey man, this is unnecessary, unconscious, mechanical talking, and this is okay talking, because we are very different types. Some types are more introvert, some types are more extrovert. They are very different types, different conditioning, different center of gravity, so it's hard to have a recipe, a law book. However, there are some areas of talking which are common to everybody, and whenever we are engaging in that way, we are very likely identified. Consciousness is unaware of itself, and it is appropriated, sucked by some kind of identity, some kind of ego number. Ooh. So, to give you some example, what to watch out for. Gossiping about other people, talking about other people in a certain way. We will not talk about them in that way if they were in the room. That's a very good exercise. Also, what I'm saying is not about, hey, don't do that, don't do this, do that, be a good Christian, don't be a good. It's more like to observe in oneself, and also use this as alarm clocks. Yeah. So just like we bring awareness to the mind, to the thoughts, to different types of thoughts, we know what we are talking about, and we bring awareness to area of emotional reactivity, and just like we bring awareness and we investigate our most familiar types of pleasant emotions and all of that, we need to bring awareness and to be awake to our talking. So something to keep an eye on besides gossip. So gossip, judging others, judging myself, talking about problems. Talking about your problems. You know, for some people, this is like a big compulsion. And we all the time, as soon as we meet somebody, talk about our problems, talk about what's not going well in your life, and talking, that's victim-y, wanting to get the victim juice. The victim juice is very nourishing for our false personality or our ego. So not talking about our problems for like a week, that will be a very powerful exercise. A lot of these things that I'm saying now, use them as alarm clocks. So see which kind of talk you are more prone to, and then put an exercise to refrain from talking about your problems for 1 week. Not forever. And then you will have a chance. If we put a no into the mechanical yes, now you will have a chance to catch it, and you notice where you it's not just stopping it, hey, don't talk like that, but more like be aware of what's happening. What's the intention about this? What's the subconscious utility of talking like that? What is the cost? You know, talking about one's problems basically will just keep churning this resentment and negative, unpleasant energies, and we keep perpetuate the situation. You know, what you hold in mind tends to persist. It's one of the most mechanical things to talk about the problems of me. Another area of unconscious talking will be talking about oneself. This is a very good exercise for some people. Talking about oneself, talking about one's problems, talking about one's achievement, talking about what happened, talking about my own. For people on a spiritual path, interested in that, there can be this tendency that now all the time I'm sharing, oh man, listen, I understood this, and I discovered this part of me, and I'm aware of this, and oh my God, and it's like my childhood. But anyway, this is interesting. However, there's still this energy of me, about me, talking about me. This is a good area to explore. A good exercise is to, for a week, consciously, inconspicuously redirect the conversation away from myself. Yeah. Now, Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements has this inner area of exploration, which I totally resonate. It's wonderful. Being impeccable with your word. This is very much resonate to all the other teachings I am sharing with you all, and it's very useful direction. Being impeccable with the word, that's a great way to bring awareness to the speech. So what does this mean, being impeccable? What does it mean not to be impeccable? What does it mean to be impure speech, unconscious, mechanical, hurtful speech? To talk shit about other people, yeah, talking negatively about other people, judging other people, lying. This is an important part of unconscious talking, lying, which takes the form of just lying, plain lying, deception, and all of that, or exaggerating, talking about things that are not quite like that, talking about things that we don't know really. We don't know, but we talk as if we know. Again, the gossip, the negative, hurtful, jabby, injurious, insulting, all of this. This is important area, and this not just outer, how I talk to other people, but how I talk to myself. So this talking, being nasty towards myself, being unloving towards myself, beating myself up, all of this, it's impure speech, using the word, the divine word. The word is a tool of the divine, using it to hurt ourselves, to do inner voodoo on ourselves, or do voodoo on other people. This, in the 4 agreements, all of these agreements, this is some ways that if you live like that, you actually start to be walking on a preliminary path. And if you do these 4 agreements, like being impeccable with your word, don't take things personally, don't make assumptions, and whatever you do the best you can. All of this is are ways to live more consciously, and are ways to bring awareness to spiritual sleep that creates suffering. Actually, these 4 agreements are ways to diminish unnecessary self-created suffering. Now, for some other people, they tend to be more meek and quiet, and they don't talk much. So now, for them, the work would be to really take some space sometimes, especially in our meetings. You can raise your hand and share some honest, truthful insight about the work. So that's important. Yeah, so I recommend you explore your talking and get more sensitive about the spiritual taste you get in your mouth afterwards, and see how it feels. There are different parts in us that can talk. There can be the part in us interested in the work, and can be the false personality talking. We can talk because we are uncomfortable with silence. We are totally uncomfortable with just being. We are uncomfortable with some tension in between people. We are just really uncomfortable being. So we just cover the space, just like we're uncomfortable in our mind to have no thoughts. It's scary or it's problematic. So we can talk in order to aggrandize ourselves. We can talk in order to look special, in order to be interesting. We can talk to be superior, or we can talk to be the victim, the biggest victim, to get sympathy, to get juice. We can talk, so watch out this week, this area of talking, with the aim of bringing awareness and aim of discovering which are your ways where you are falling asleep as you are talking, and which are toxic ways of talking, from the aim of purifying it. And however you go about it, a great exercise for talking is the idea is to be more and more conscious. no matter what we do. So it's not about not talking, but it's about talking consciously, and the talking that we have to support ourselves and support our brothers and sisters, and not just leak energy. That's the thing. Just like the expression of unpleasant emotions and all of this strong identification and strong reactivity, this is all we are leaking energy that we accumulated through air, water, sleep in the night, and is designed for us to awaken our subtle bodies and to perfect ourselves from the point of view of being, and clean ourselves from this toxic, harmful conditioning. Instead of putting energy into that, we are leaking out by just talking, and then we are depleted. So plugging the leaks, purifying the speech. All right, so let me know how it goes. Ciao, ciao.